causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live. Good to be with you. I'm Dave Scott. Clearly in a hotel room today. My business activities have taken me to Charlotte, North Carolina, where honestly it isn't much warmer than it is right here at home in West Bloomfield. And I'm with Michigan Works and the Works organizations all around the country who are doing all they can to get people in our community and our state a job. So awful good to be with them today. Thank you for joining us here on the Splash, part of 90 minutes of live television each and every day right here at home on Civic Center TV. Starts out with the Splash Live every morning at 9:30. Then we continue on at 10 o'clock with Tyler Keith for the Michigan Megacast as we take a wider look at our community and the rest of the state of Michigan. You can watch us each and every day on Civic Center TV. That is channel 15 on Comcast, channel 99 on AT&T. Is a little bit of a menu system to go through, but you'll find your community. Hit the button for your community, and we will be right there. I like to watch us on the web on Civic Center TV. And if you're traveling, no matter where you are, you can always stay in touch with home by going to civiccentertv.com. You can also watch us on your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, where we are live this morning. Just search for Civic Center TV. But you also to go to YouTube and do the same right there. Search for Civic Center TV. And we'll be right there. And of course, if you're in West Bloomfield, driving around, maybe heading off to work this morning, thank you for tuning in to 89.3 Lakes FM, where we are each and every day. So, again, weather-wise today, a little bit chilly, a little bit snowy. Let's take a look at what we've got going on here in our greater West Bloomfield area. 36 degrees, that's going to be about it. Snow falling throughout the day, down to 28 tonight. So we're definitely in a winter pattern, an early winter, late fall pattern. Tomorrow, no different. The exact same thing, mirror image of today. Snow in the greater West Bloomfield area, 37 for our high, 26 for our low, and then a little bit colder on Friday and a little bit more snow coming. So might even need to get the shovel out and move just a little bit of snow before our weekend. A little bit of a warm up as we head toward Thanksgiving, but not a whole lot. We definitely have seen our weather pattern change. So when we went to vote last week, one of the things on the ballot that you had an opportunity to vote for was our transportation millage. And for us in West Bloomfield, that means it's part of the smart bus system that is going to be enhanced and even better. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to check in with our good friends at Parks and Recreation. And joining us will be Ben Burr. He's one of the guys very involved in this program. And if you ride the smart buses around West Bloomfield, you already know Ben, but we'll find out more about how this smart connector system works. In Farmington Hills and some of our other neighboring communities, there's even a more enhanced system with even more local transportation that is off schedule. You don't really need to wait for the bus schedule. And then don't forget that we are on the major routes across Metro Detroit, a route that goes down 15 Mile, takes you down to the east side, another route that goes right down Northwestern Highway and takes you to the major transportation center for SMART in Southfield and take you all the way downtown. So it's really not too hard. Could be better, but not too hard to get around Metro Detroit with the smart bus system. And we're going to do what we can to let you know more about it. So if you don't have a vehicle or if you're riding a bicycle, you can take your bike and put it on the rack in the bus. Or if you need one of these other alternatives, if you're not driving anymore at this point in your life, and you need one of the other alternatives, a lot of alternatives. Again, Ben will check in just a little bit and we will learn more about that. So with Thanksgiving coming up, it's finally time to start thinking about putting the Christmas lights up or the holiday lights, depending on what you celebrate. And, you know, a lot of people are doing that earlier and earlier. So I have noticed there's some lights already up in our communities. And many of these light shows get very elegant and very elaborate, which kind of fun because we get an opportunity sometime during the holidays when we have some time off to drive around and see all that there is to see. But what does it take to put together a breathtaking outdoor lighting display at your home? We're going to learn more about that as the week goes on and talk to some experts who have businesses. So, you know, not everybody who has these really nice light displays at their home. Like, look at that one right there. Just think how much work that is. You'd have to climb up your tree, and there are companies that come out and do this all across the state of Michigan. So we're trying to get connected to one of them and let you know how you can do that to your yard if you choose. Now, personally, string of white lights on the front porch is good enough for me. But if you want to really go to town this holiday season, we'll have more tips on that. Also working on getting a guest to help us know a little bit more about your preparation, your holiday meal for Thanksgiving, and maybe some unusual things you could do, maybe even getting a barbecue out. So we're working on that information, and we'll have that for you in the next couple of days. Joining us this morning in a couple of minutes is our good friend Gina Gregory from the West Bloomfield Historical Society. She's got a new book out that she wrote with her husband. We'll get a chance to learn more about that. And again, we'll check in with Ben Burr and find out more about those buses, those smart buses. You see them over at the town hall complex in front of Parks and Rec, and you see them all around our community. How do they work? What's it all about? We'll find out more. So don't go away. All this local information for you each and every morning, and we've got more coming up in the Splash Live in just a minute. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on the Megacast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the Megacast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott right here on Civic Center TV. Don't forget, Tyler Keith will be here in just a little bit with the Megacast. Starts every day at 10 o'clock. We're here at 9:30, and we really thank you for joining us. Local news and information, an hour and a half. Kick off your day every day. So Gina Gregory, I just saw her last week at the Heroes Breakfast, and we had a nice conversation. Gina Gregory, of course, of the West Bloomfield Historical Society. But what I didn't realize, I should have known, is that she is also an author and has just released her third book, co-authored by her husband, Rob. Joining us now on the Splash Live is Gina Gregory. Good morning.
Morning, Dave. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us on short notice. So you've released the third edition of Our History and Remembrance of Pleasant Lake, West Bloomfield, Michigan. Congratulations on the release of the book. Tell us all about it.
Thank you. Well, it's been a labor of love and a 25-year project at this point. It started out that I was attended neighborhood subdivision board meetings, and folks knew that there was a woman in our subdivision who had come out there as a summer resident for weekend only in a very simple style cottage that was built by her grandfather in 1924. So our subdivision was started in 1922, and I wanted to chronicle her story. And after I got that, then there was a couple other interesting things, and the beginning of our subdivision seemed interesting. So it was a big case of one thing led to another. on our board was a graphic artist, so she designed the book, and it was published with 23 pages, I believe, 28 pages and 47 photos. Then we ran out of copies. We did 125 altogether. So later, the internet had been invented and digital cameras. So we took, it became 150 pages. 98 pages with 153 black and white photos. We knew our 100th anniversary was coming up. So those 300 copies have all been sold. And we wanted to make something different for this edition. So we planned to make it in color, which we were able to do. And a year ahead of time, I asked folks for their photos. And so this turned out to be during COVID. So I was given 300 photos. And each and every one was pretty interesting. And I was able to use many of them. So now we have 375 photos and 150 pages. And we talked much more about the area.
The natural historian in you was just dying to get out even more with this book, and it's just awesome. It makes me wonder what is special, because everyone else has a special story about our neighborhood, especially our block, our subdivision, the people that live right about us. What makes the Pleasant Lake area so special to you, Gina?
I'm going to say the top thing is all the nature that's around us. So I added that to this book because we hadn't done that before. We've got the Northwestern Highways that was not done. So that added more greenery to us. We have Carter Farm Park very close by. Pleasant Lake Elementary School that has a huge wetland in it. So there's a lot of wild area. Walnut Creek Middle School, Jewish Community Center, not to mention the 35-acre parcel of land that's been given to Six Rivers Nature Conservancy close by, as well as the golf course, Shenandoah, as well as Detroit Archery. All those things are so close to us, so I see them all the time and enjoy them. It seems like that's pretty unusual, thinking of a city life, to have 8 natural features around you. And I didn't mention the West Bloomfield Trail, so that makes 9.
Well, I mean, it is a great story. And I like what you said a couple of minutes ago, talking about the deployment of the internet and the impact that has had on making self-publishing possible. Because you couldn't really easily tell this story decades ago. You'd have to, put a book together, go find a publisher, and they say, well, you want to sell 200 books? Are you crazy? We can't make any money doing that. But now the mechanism is there for us to tell these hyper-local micro stories and do it in a beautiful way. And congratulations for putting all the work and figuring out how to do that.
You're welcome. I've learned so much over the time. Each of the pages is in color. I can give you a quick flip through.
Sure.
So they're all in, we have color banners at the top. Kyle Stalter of New Graphics was the layout artist, and she did her West Acres book, which is fabulous. So I knew I was in good hands when we started working together.
So Gina, how would somebody get?
Oh, and then we have the opportunity to put in beautiful photographs that each and every one is quite unique and can be appreciated, when you have it in your lap. So they're available. You can contact
me. So Gina,
me.
how would people get a hold of your book if they want? Can they buy it online? How would they get a hold of it?
I have them in my car, so I think that's going to be the easiest way. And they can email me at Gina, Gina, Gregory, Gregory, 1951 @gmail.com. And I can arrange for them to get them at the Orchard Lake Museum. I can meet them there. It's $40. It can mail it to them for $46 anywhere in the USA. Makes a great gift. I did include what I've learned over the last 25 years in working with the Historical Society. And since we had just redone the museum, I learned quite a lot and had more resources available, which I did include in this book because I wanted to tell the complete story of our little corner in the world of southwest area of West Bloomfield, Michigan.
All right, we got to go in a minute. You want to give any props to your husband, Rob, who also played a role in this effort?
He did. He's the
there.
writer behind the scenes.
Okay.
We added 9,000 words. They're pretty straightforward in this version, but I would do the research and come home and be excited and then talk to him about it. And then he rolled it into a story and designed it as such. So it's been a fun team effort.
All right. Well, Gina, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much for being here. And congratulations on the book. We got a minute or two more. We know how to get it, though. I just love this whole micro communication. So you want a copy of the book, call up Gina, send her an email. She's got a bunch in her trunk. She'll figure out a way to make sure you get one.
Yep. And tonight I'll be at the library.
I'll
give a plug for the Historical Society. We're having a presentation by Leslie Pilek from Birmingham. She wrote a book on the Saginaw Trail, which is Woodward Avenue as we know it. So you can learn all about that tonight. It's free. No need to sign up ahead of time. Just join us at the main meeting of the library at 7 p.m. and support local history. Our museum exists and we are as a group, but that only happens because people are interested in that. And if they don't continue to be, we won't be able to survive. So we need everybody to join. Our membership's fairly low considering how many people could be members. So consider being a member, consider joining us and volunteering. We need people to share and collect our local history.
What kind of things would volunteers do if they participated?
Everything from hosting an open house, doing research, looking for photographs online to go with our stories, working with publicity, working with fundraising, membership. What, Rob? They can volunteer for Apple Island. My husband's right here and he's on Apple Island. We'll be having that this year. And with the school district's new pontoon boats that come in, they're tour pontoon boats. They were ordered last January. So hopefully they'll be in place by then. And we're looking to get back out there and share that opportunity with people.
It'll be okay if we wait till the ice. It'll be okay if we wait till the ice melts on Orchard Lake before we launch those pontoon boats, I hope.
Sure. And the tours are going to be the second week in June of 2020.
All right. Well, it's great. I know you're working on all these efforts and congratulations. Thanks for joining me at the last moment. Extend my greetings to Rob Gregory as well. Congratulations on the new book, the third edition, Our History and Remembrance of Pleasant Lake, West Bloomfield, Michigan. Your author, Gina and Rob Gregory, joining us this morning on the Splash Live. Thanks, Gina. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away. Dave Scott with more coming up after this.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on the Megacast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the Megacast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott. I'm on the road in a hotel room right now where I'm at a conference talking about the Michigan Works programs and the other Works programs around our country. So some really good, amazing work going on here in workforce development in our country and trying to get people to work, especially our youth. But we are here today in West Bloomfield on the Splash Live. Thank you very much for joining us. So last week we all went to the polls and we voted. And one of the things that you voted on locally was a new millage to enhance transportation here in our area. And that, in fact, actually passed. A big part of the transportation picture here in our area are the smart buses, the big ones, and the smaller ones you see traveling around our area. And one of the guys that knows all about it through that partnership with the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Department is Ben Burr, who joins us now on the Splash. Ben, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Dave. How are you doing?
Look at you. Not only are you joining us, you're joining us from your bus. Awesome. That is perfect. How's it going today?
Doing quite well. Just out doing what I do to see what we can do to help people.
So just a little bit of quick history on Ben here. He became a driver for the West Bloomfield Parks Department in 2015. Prior to coming to West Bloomfield Parks, he worked in the medical field and as a combat medic for the military. Thank you very much for your service. Great to have you and your vast experience here in West Bloomfield. Talk a little bit. I know you have to be thrilled that this millage passed because that means more resources for the kind of things you're doing. We'll learn more about it. But for people that have seen, like myself, that have seen the buses at the Civic Center lot and don't really understand how to get on them, what they're doing, tell us all about this special service.
Okay. Yeah. As far as our partnership with Parks and Recreation, how Smart works is we have the vehicles leased, and through the previous grant and now through the new grant, which will be tied to the new millage as opposed to the old one, we are able to staff the buses, maintenance for them. We use them for our trips that are in your Parks and Recreation guide, as well as medicals and non-medicals for our seniors 55 and up, or just up here in the township. And the reservations can be made by leaving a voicemail at 248-706-2411. And I'm on the road, but I call back as soon as I can. And we try and schedule medicals up to 4 weeks out, non-medicals up to 2 weeks out.
So let's talk about the different classifications. So if you have a medical, so you have a doctor's appointment or you need to get somewhere in, and I assume this has got to be in the West Bloomfield area, you will get them there. Is that correct?
As long as you call and I have room on my schedule, I'm happy to make it happen. For doctor's appointments, dental appointments, things of that nature, those are what qualify for medical. We can schedule up to 4 weeks in advance, and we can go anywhere in the township and leave the township by up to 6 miles.
That's excellent. So that has got to be just an enormous resource. When you pick somebody up that doesn't have any other way to get to the doctor, what kind of reaction do you get from them? They've got to be thrilled that you're there, Ben.
For the most part, a lot of our riders are very gracious and they're very happy with us. They're very grateful for the service, and we're pleased to be able to help. And that's largely what it is I can drive, I can go places. Not everybody can. An example is my own mother needs the service. She uses it both here when she does trips, And in her community where she lives, she uses it for medical and non-medical. So it really does make a difference. It really is a lifeline for the individuals that need it.
And talk a little bit also about the non-medical. So medical up to 4 weeks in advance, you can schedule it. Likely that's gonna happen. That's why to get time to get that on the schedule. Talk about some of the non-medical trips you make and how people go about scheduling those, Ben Burr.
Absolutely. The non-medical, it's the same process. You call, you leave a voicemail. Scheduling is first come, first serve. I'll call you back and say yes. I'll say no. I'll say, well, I can't do that, but let's barter here. Let's try and figure out something that'll work for you. Non-medicals, that's your bank, your grocery shopping, pharmacy, even if you just want to go to Kohl's or something. And the radius is a little smaller. It's only 1 mile outside of the township, but we'll schedule those up to 2 weeks in advance, and that gives the medical requests a little bit of a head start, a little higher priority.
And is your service busy? I mean, are you running all the time, or should we be encouraging people? Obviously, we're encouraging people to call and use the service, but is it? I mean, in all honesty, is it underutilized, overutilized, or just about right?
If the funding were available, I could easily do with the third truck on the road Monday through Friday. I encourage anybody who does call to take advantage of that 2 weeks out for non-medicals, 4 weeks out for medicals. You stay booked pretty solid about a week to a week and a half out. You can certainly call today for tomorrow, but there is a high possibility I may have to say, I'm sorry, I'm full.
And do you have any idea, and I know you're not the politician, you're the guy in the box, but do you have any idea what this millage is going to do to enhance what you're already doing? At the very least, keep it there. But any word or indication of where we might be going with this now that we do have some additional funds coming to Oakland County?
Absolutely. Before you could opt in or opt out. If you opted in, you got the line haul service, which is the big green bus you see down Orchard and Middle Belt. You also got the connector, and then you qualified to get these Transit Connect buses. If you opted out, you did not get any of the services from SMART, and if you came up with a different funding means, which usually was a separate millage, you could get the Transit Connector service, and a lot of the opt-out communities still had those senior shuttles. Now, with this being an all or nothing thing, passing it, first of all, thank you to the voters, because I still have a job. The other side of it is, now that it's one enclosed sphere, services are going to expand. There'll be small changes at first. SMART has already said that the easiest thing, which will happen in the next few weeks, is putting stops along Woodward and Bloomfield, because Bloomfield was a black hole before. They weren't allowed to stop there. And they will be able to expand the connector and the line haul across the entire county in the next couple of years.
Well, we have routes out from West Bloomfield. Ben will learn more about them, learn more about your service. Thank you for doing this in very short notice. I appreciate it. All the information is on the Parks and Recreation website. If you want to get a ride, Ben's a good guy, and he will get you all hooked up. Hey, we got to go. Thank you very much for joining us this morning in the Splash. I'll be back tomorrow at home. Have a good day. Tyler Keith is hanging out. He'll be popping in here in just a moment. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy your West Bloomfield Wednesday.